Hello everyone, it's Randy here with you in our new series where we're going to highlight the incredible work that's done throughout this district. There's so many people that make this whole thing happen. And in Washington, it seems that they've forgotten about the real people that do the real work that make the Indiana's 1st District one of the most unique and diverse and productive districts in the entire country. I look forward to working not just for you, but with you in Washington. Hello everyone, it's Randy here with you with another episode of Region Works. We are here today at the Sweet Tooth in Munster, Indiana. And what a great name for this. As I walked in here, I just smelled nothing but sweetness. And myself, as a lover of all things sweet, definitely a place I don't want to visit too often, because as my grandma used to tell me, when you eat stuff like this, you end up having to go to the dentist. Or in the cases when we get into our middle ages, it doesn't do much for the figure. So, but a great place to visit, an awesome local business. I'm here today with Debbie Straka, owner of the Sweet Tooth, and also a worker here, a great little entrepreneurial venture, like so many places in Northwest Indiana. And Debbie and her family work really hard at this to provide a great product and a great service to the people here of Munster and over across the state line into Lansing that come and visit her and her family for their sweet treats. So, Debbie, if you could tell us a little bit about how this whole thing started for your family, where you started, and how you got to this shop here in Munster.
Okay. Well, I was a stay-at-home mom for a while. I was substitute teaching in Munster school system. And friends of ours were moving out of state, and they owned the original Sweet Tooth in Highland, Indiana. And I had always wanted to own my own business, so my husband said, "What do you think about buying the Sweet Tooth?" And I was like, "Okay, I don't know how to start," but we did. And we purchased the Sweet Tooth, and we didn't tell anybody right away because our friends were moving out of state. But my family, if you tell one before the other, it's a problem. So we decided to have our youngest son's, Daniel's, birthday party at the Sweet Tooth and surprise everybody at the same time. So in August of 2004, for his birthday party, we announced that we purchased the Sweet Tooth for David and Daniel, who at the time were 9 and 10.
Oh, wow.
So they were not real happy with that announcement because we told them that we were just helping our friends out for a couple of days, cleaning tables and doing things, and that it wasn't ours. And they were mad because they were upset because it was like, well, why did you tell us? We were just helping our friends, So it was kind of like, once they got over that we didn't tell them right away, they were excited.
So they thought that, wow, this is so cool. I get to have all the sweets I want. And then all of a sudden they figured out, wait a second, I have to work at this too, right?
Well, they kind of enjoyed it. Daniel took to the cash register right away and greeting the customers. And David was cleaning tables and rearranging things and telling me what to do, which still to this day happens. So long distance, he likes to tell us what we need to do, which is okay. He's got a lot of insight and he sees it from a distance. So we were in Highland for about 7 or 8 years. We loved it. Kids would come in after school and sit till their parents picked them up sometimes. And we had all the festivals in the park, and we'd always be busy, and we just loved it there. It was great. A little bit of a learning experience for me, but I had great employees to start, and I still keep in touch with some of those first employees, and some of them own their own businesses at this point.
That's awesome.
So it is great. Then we moved to a little place on Ridge Road, right next to the Performing Arts Center. There was a storm sewage backup. We were only open like 3 months, and eventually they were going to fix the building, and they decided to tear it down. So we were on the hunt for a place in Munster or Highland, and I grew up in Munster. My children grew up in Munster. We kept looking and looking, and places to put businesses in are really hard to find sometimes, especially with the size you're looking for, the location. We actually just stumbled on this place because we were looking at another place. We saw the sign in the window called The Landlord. The landlord is a Munster person whose family actually built the building. So we came in here, we liked the location, we gutted the place. We had to put in the handicap bathroom and everything, and it took a while. The boys actually painted everything in here.
That's awesome.
And we started out with hardly anything because we lost everything from the other place. But we started out and slowly built up. And a lot of our stuff is kind of unique, like our displays and tables and that is because we decided as we went along to invest in product more than, making it more uniform or fancy. We just keep bringing in more product, and we like that because that's what people want. We love the business. We will be celebrating 20 years the end of July 30th, and August 4th, which is Daniel's birthday, we will celebrate 9 years here.
Wow. So have the boys worked with you from when they were little kids?
Yes, they have always worked here, doing different things, learning the whole business. We have always taken them when they were old enough to the Sweets and Snacks Expo, which is the largest candy show in the United States. And they actually would talk to manufacturers, distributors, and people like that, candy producers, and they would.
So they learned how to procure product.
Yes.
At a young age.
Yes, they did.
Wow, See, I think that's the cool thing about family businesses and entrepreneurial ventures when you can involve your family in it. I was lucky enough to be raised in a family business. And I say lucky because I started working when I was 10. Started working on farms, had a paper route, did hay baling for dairy farmers, did some landscape work, drove a truck and filled swimming pools. So as a young person between the ages of 10 and 18, I had a lot of rich work experience, which I'm sure has benefited your sons quite well to be working alongside you and learning all these different skills that it takes to do this work, because it's not as simple as just working a cash register, scooping ice cream. There's a lot of intricate parts of a business like this that has such a variety of products. So tell me a little bit about how the supply chain works with this business. It was well advertised in the news during the pandemic, some of the challenges. What were some of those challenges? Has some of it improved? Are you seeing some stabilization on the price of acquiring goods, or are we still kind of in a very variable situation?
Okay. Well, of course, during the pandemic, everybody realized shortages of different products. Toilet paper, the biggest one,
That was crazy.
But one of the things about any product, food products, or especially our candy or ice cream products, are the raw ingredients. So we had difficulties getting in products with certain flavorings or certain colorings. So, for instance, the rock candy, which is one of our great products here, some of those flavorings or colorings may not have been available at that time. So I might get the pink ones in, but not the blue. So for a while, the customer was disappointed, of course, because their favorite, whatever it was, they couldn't get that particular flavor or color. And a lot of those, even if the products are made in the United States, a lot of the flavorings come from other places.
Were you shut down for a period of time here?
We were shut down.
How long?
Well, we got the notice, maybe on a Friday, or I'm trying to remember, because I remember vividly that whole situation. I had just gone grocery shopping, big time for me, because I was out of everything after the holidays. And we heard the announcement that everybody's going to shut down. I think it was Monday, we were going to shut down, and I heard over the weekend, and what do? Our products are perishable. they have a shelf life, some shorter than others. And we had just stocked up a lot of products because we were getting into spring, because it was March. So we were shut down that whole time from March to, I believe, the beginning of May. We were shut down. And then May, we tried to sell online. So
Have you taken some of those things like the online sales? You still do that?
Currently, we have not. We're working on doing that again. The problem with our online sales is it's a product like the ice cream packed. It's got to be done that minute and
shipping
delivered.
Is tough, yeah.
Right. So we did do the online for a couple weeks in May of that year, and we did it for a long time. We currently aren't, because you have to monitor your product, your inventory, minute by minute. It's difficult with ice cream. Candy's not as difficult.
Yeah.
But we tried to do that.
So we get past the pandemic, things start to pick up again. Obviously, some of the supply chain issues created and inflationary issues created more stress. How much in general has the cost of some of these things to even procure them for your business gone up?
Well, for example, one thing that comes to mind, first thing, is something we need all the time: plastic spoons.
You don't think about that stuff, do you? That's something that the customer doesn't think about, because you just get it in your ice cream, right?
Yes.
So what have you seen in the changes?
Well, immediately you couldn't find spoons at some point, but they're about triple of what I used to pay for spoons.
Wow.
So.
Holy smokes.
And that's if I get them at a discount place or a restaurant supply place or one of my distributors. So, yeah.
And obviously, you know, the cost of, what people understand about businesses, especially like this, is the cost of everything has to be incorporated into the sale of the product somehow, and still not put you out of the marketplace to where your customers won't come and buy from you. That's a tricky balancing act that you had to walk your last few years.
It is.
Are you seeing some stabilization of price and ease of access in the supply chain?
The supply chain's gotten a little better.
Okay.
I do have to say, there's still gaps here and there. I'm not sure exactly what's caused that, but there are a little bit of problem. The pricing of items hasn't gone down. They keep going up.
Just keeps creeping.
Keep going up. Mm-hmm.
How have your customers reacted to that? Have you seen a change in behavior, or that you still have just loyal people that love the sweet tooth and they're going to come in here no matter what it costs?
We have loyal customers. We have actually not raised our prices very much. We haven't raised the price of our single ice cream cone since we opened here.
Wow.
So our margins are smaller. But
if they exist at all.
Yeah. We try really hard to maintain a reasonable price, because ice cream and candy is one of the treats people can enjoy, especially when they have very little to spend. So it's a luxury for a lot of people.
You know, it's funny because we kind of take these things for granted on a daily basis in our lives, that they're always just going to be there. And the story you're telling is one that you're sacrificing to continue to serve your customers, because I think all of us that are in business, especially service-oriented businesses like this, have a heart for service. We want to be able to provide the best value to our customers and the best product and still be able to survive. So I admire your willingness to, you know, continue to go forward and sometimes sacrifice for the good of the people and the joy you bring them, because I look at businesses like this, and they might have called them non-essential during the pandemic. To me, this is an essential part of a quality of life aspect that's so important to that journey that we are all on in life, is these memories that you make around little shops like this. So I appreciate your hard work to continue to do this, because this is not easy, and you've seen a lot of people like you go out of business over the last few years. where you and your family are hanging in there and working hard at it. So I really appreciate that story. What are some things from your perspective as a business person, but as a blue-collar worker, right? Because that's really what you are here. Politicians in Washington are really good at telling stories, creating narratives, but not always good at incorporating the stories of the people they serve into what they do from a policy standpoint. So, not to be over political, but what are things that you think in general would help from a federal government standpoint to create a better platform to succeed in this business, a better platform, to hire more workers, to have opportunities for people to work with you, to improve your business, but also to sustain it. So I don't expect that you'll go deep into policy, but everybody has a perspective from their own shoes, and I want to know yours.
Okay, it's a lot of questions, but I think I can answer them. First of all, I do believe that most politicians head to Washington, and most of their staffers head to Washington with good intentions. And they have an idea of what they want to accomplish. Somewhere along the line, sometimes that changes for people. I believe the best way to serve your people in politics is to get to know them, to know what they really need and want, and not fill your own agenda. So for me, for us as an example, I believe that we need to get people to work. Okay, that's game one. I don't know what you want to call it. Get people to work. There are people who want to work, and there are people who should work. And I believe there's a job for everybody. Everybody needs to start somewhere. And we are a firm believer in our store here that we are a teaching employer. So we bring in mostly people who've never worked before. And we teach them. And we not only teach them how to scoop ice cream and ring the register, but we try to teach them values and work ethics and how to get along with people. We promote education. We're a firm believer in education, so we try to work with them with their schoolwork. But I believe if we want to succeed and government wants to succeed, we need to figure out how to get people to work, how to make it easier on businesses to hire people that want to work, and work with maybe a connection with the schools and the businesses in the area to promote that. I believe we need to teach people how to work and have good work ethic. And there should be some incentive to employers to get people to bring in people to work. Not exactly sure what, but instead of putting money into handouts, give money to people to get them to work. Get them an incentive to go to to get a job, to learn a trade. Our trades are hurting right now. You know, you call out a carpenter or a plumber, that's an emergency usually. It's hard to get one. So there's a job for everybody, I believe. Everybody is capable of doing something. You know, maybe it's manual labor, maybe it's artistic, or maybe it is going to school and becoming a doctor or a lawyer, but everybody is capable of doing something. I believe that.
Yeah, your boys were lucky that they had the opportunity to learn how to work, and they might not have realized it at the time, but I look back at my own life and realize how lucky I was to learn that. You look at workforce numbers, they're almost identical today to what they were in the year 2000 of the number of people participating in the workforce. That's pretty alarming to me, right? We have more and more needs all the time as a country, and we're not growing that workforce to meet those needs from a consumer standpoint, but also to create the revenue that's needed to continue to run the government. So it's less people trying to support more government activity, and that's creating a heck of a burden on average people here in Northwest Indiana. I think that what you're saying there is of high value to our economy is entry-level jobs, where especially young people get the opportunity to learn so many soft skills that will serve them the rest of their life. So kudos to you on doing that. And my goal is, if I'm lucky enough to become a United States representative, is to make sure that I don't do what you said at the start, which is go to Washington with intentions, but then those intentions get sidetracked by the political arena, and we forget sometimes that we serve people. The thing I love about local government for the last 16 years is I can never escape from the people that I serve, right?
True.
I can be in a shop like this and run into somebody that I know, and they can hold me accountable to my work. And small business owners like you need to have that same expectation of the people that you send to do your work in your government, that they're going to give you the platform and the tools economically that allow you to succeed, allow you to provide those jobs, allow you to make a little bit of money, allow you to keep buying from these suppliers and these trucking companies that haul you things. It all fits together in a giant chain. And what you do is a vital part of that. So I greatly appreciate you being willing to share your story. Let me spend a little time with you today. And I'd love an opportunity to do a little work here too, if you don't mind.
Okay.
I promise I won't just scoop the ice cream right into my mouth. Okay, we'll make sure it gets into a dish and that somebody can enjoy.
Okay.
So yeah, if we could do that, that'd be great. All right, folks, now I get to test out my skills at being an ice cream scooper. So this is exciting. We have a customer here. Sir, what kind of ice cream can I get for you?
Can I get some of the lemon cheese?
Great choice. You really load these up, huh?
You do.
Great. That's why you get satisfied customers. They come back for more.
Yep. That was...
Well, it's not the prettiest thing in the world, but I think it'll eat pretty well.
I disagree. I think it looks great.
There you go,
Thank you
sir.
very much.
Thank you for coming to the Sweet Tooth. And we appreciate your business here, supporting a local business, Northwest Indiana, even with the antique ice cream scooper. So this is real authentic stuff here. Make sure when you come through Munster that you pay the Straka family a visit here at the Sweet Tooth. Support your local businesses. Enjoy these great products. So many things here, homemade, handcrafted, and they're here to serve you. So what a great story of a great Northwest Indiana family, and I look forward to serving them as their next United States representative. Thank you and have a great day. Well, friends, I sure hope that you enjoyed our adventure today. If you or someone else you know would like me to work with you to highlight Northwest Indiana work, our economy, and how we can do better in Washington to make this the powerhouse that it always should be, contact us at info@niemeyerforcongress.com. I look forward to the opportunity to serve you in Washington and to work with you in your job.